love it. Love game, intuition, play the cards with spades to start. Love it. Love game, intuition, play the cards with spades to start. Love it. Love game, intuition, play the cards with spades to start. Can't read mine, no, we can't read them by the poker face. She's got me like nobody. Can't read mine, no, we can't read them by the poker face. She's got me like nobody.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of Inspection Connections, the weekly podcast where we home inspectors get together and talk about whatever comes to mind, provided we're plenty jacked up on Cat B. We're going to talk about insurance, home inspections, friendship and betrayal, ethics and standards, if you will. And I am your host, the terrifically fantastic and super humble home inspector, Vito Bianchi. With me, as always, is my cohort, my partner in crime, the Bonnie to my Clyde, the newly promoted queen of customer service, Aiden. No, you can't see her poker face, probably. How you doing, Aiden?
I'm doing great, V. You know, I get to have the pleasure and honor of having you in my office today.
It's a pleasure. It is an honor. I respect that.
But now you don't get to see my winces and cringes when you go off on your rant. Now you get to see them in the flesh.
That's all right. I already made you blush once this morning. More of that's coming. Perfect,
Vito. I think we have a special guest that's waiting close by. Do we want to bring her in?
Not just a special guest. I got to tell you, we got a treat for you today, because I'm going to introduce to you in a minute a person who 7 years ago forever changed my professional life. Not just with what they said, but with how they lived it. What they said was, professionally speaking, you're always on stage. You're always on stage. And I have to tell you that I have known this person, and over the course of 7 years, I have never, not once, professionally seen her demeanor fail. Not once. And I can't say that about anybody, especially when they're dealing with me. She's never even once lost her temper, and God knows I have tried her last nerve, and she has never slipped professionally. I am going to give you someone with 25 years banking experience, almost a decade of marketing experience with the home inspection industry. She is our general manager and director of marketing. She manages all of our city contracts. I can't say enough high praise about this woman. She is literally the marquee of marketing. She is the Jackie Onassis of the inspection community. I give you the amazing, the inevitable Dawn Perkins.
Wow. You know what? I am so glad that this is recording, because I am now going to make sure my entire family hears how awesome I am, so they don't forget.
That's my story. We're sticking to it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, send them to inspectionconnections.com. Dawn, before we get into, tapping your limitless knowledge and inexhaustible wisdom, and I really get a chance to showcase your wit and charm with all our listeners, I would like to first take a moment, just ask you, who is Dawn Perkins? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about myself. Born and raised in Denver, Colorado. Went away to college, met my love of my life, which I'm still married to, in Oklahoma. Believe it or not, we went to school in Oklahoma, and that's where I met him. And then we moved to Florida, had a couple of kiddos, got a son who's 27, daughter who is 32.
Let me have a question. Does HP know about this guy?
If he doesn't, when he listens to this, he's going to find out. So Today is going to be the tell-all. There it is. I mean, today may be the last day I'm married, but I'm going to give it all to you. At this point, I don't care.
We love HP. We love us some HP around here. HP is Dawn's husband, by the way. I was busting chops, pushing buttons. I'm a home inspector. I'm contractually obligated to push buttons wherever I might find them.
And you do, Vito. Your button pushing, I mean, it exceeds all that I know.
I am single-handedly responsible for my wife Robin's inevitable sainthood someday.
She truly needs to have that designation. I have got, and I know your wife, Robin, and she does wear that halo. She has to, with all the button pushing with you. I'll tell you.
Oh, she's already earned her wings.
And I apologize for getting us off track, Dawn, but you guys moved to Florida, and how long have you been married?
So we have been married now 28 years. 28 years, and we have been together since I was 19. And so I'm, on the side of 50, so a long time. Let's just say over 30 years.
And you have a couple of successful children, don't you? I believe one of them is now recently lawyered up.
I've got a couple of kiddos. They're doing a great job in the world where, they don't have to ask mom and dad for money anymore. My son is an attorney here in Tampa in a real estate firm. My daughter lives in Virginia, and she is a school counselor. So she deals with kiddos every day, and that, I'll tell you, that is a feat in itself. So those are the two little offspring that we put responsible citizens in the world, and that's it. Those are the two that we have.
You know what? I don't see a lack of business for either of them. Everybody's always needing a lawyer, and a good one at that. And I got to tell you, today's day and age, I've noticed a strong push for general counseling overall. If you can get, I want some counseling. I want a security blanket with the four corners dipped in different flavor antidepressants. Honestly, I want cherry.
That was a crazy visual.
I want lemon lime Adderall on another, and who else? I don't know too many drugs, but I'm sure there's plenty out there, and one of them's got to work.
I'm going to agree with you on a couple of those points. Mental health is hugely important. Hugely important.
So now that we've gotten the preliminary introductions out of the way, tell our listeners a little bit about what you do here at Rock Solid Home Inspection. In my opinion, the greatest home inspection company the world has ever seen.
Amen.
And amen twice over. I totally agree. So what I am charged to do, market. We get out there, go to different offices. We're out there preaching the good news about what Rock Solid does and how important it is. Some things that, of course, I'm passionate about is the education piece that we do. Almost every Saturday, I am on a first-time home buyer call or physically at a class, just telling new homeowners how important it is once you get to the part in the contract that says, get an inspection, why it's important. Don't go past that. Save the money now, get the home inspection. It's the biggest, investment you're ever going to make. And so first-time home buyership, to me, Vito, is just, it just gets me going. So I don't have a problem on Saturdays going about and talking about it. So that's one piece. And again, I talk a lot about why Rock Solid is the answer for that inspection service because of what we do. And the compassion that we hold for new first-time home buyers. And our inspectors understand, we may have a nervous mom that's got a couple of kids, or we may have an elderly couple who, they bought houses years ago and now maybe downsizing, and the process has changed. So that is one of my heartstrings with the company. And then, of course, getting out, talking to realtors, hosting classes, all those wonderful things. what I do on this side of the bay. We currently are really trying to expand our footprint, and I'm working with Vito guys a lot on getting out and spreading our message in the Pasco area, right, V? What areas are we really trying to take advantage of right now and get this message out to them?
That would be north of Pasco, Hernando, Citrus, Lee counties, all the way up to the villages, Inverness, northern Florida. If you're listening, those are the areas north of the Tampa Bay area.
So, and I get out and I talk with the inspectors, and I'll tell you, it just doesn't even feel like work because I really love what I do. And that's why it's easy. And again, we've lived through a lot, especially 2020, so it's not an easy job. But what it is a job that we can feel passionate about. And the company, we're all a part of. We're all working together. And coming from corporate America, that's very refreshing. So I could go on, but that's the gist of what I do.
I can't let Vito steal the show and say all these great things about you without cutting in and doing a little bit of my own, because not only are you greatly professional, but you are an angel that walks the earth. And wow. You work very closely with, new home buyers, like you said, but you also outreach and you help us assist, those who are a little bit less fortunate getting into, new homes with Habitat Humanity and the city. And you've really lent out a hand to these people. And I just wanted you to talk a little bit about that, because that's one of your shining stars for me that I really admire about you.
I appreciate that, A. I mean, an angel walking the earth. I mean, you know what? I'm going to take it. That's who I am. Where's my wings?
Fell from heaven.
Oh, my. Well, as far as that is concerned, I can touch on that. What we do, and when we first started this years ago now, over 5 or 6 years, we started working with the city of Tampa. That was our first contract. And where we play in that arena is that we are the folks that come out and do the inspection for the first-time home buyer. So the city of Tampa has, as the city of Clearwater and Largo and every other cities, have monies to help first-time home buyers that are in a certain income range to help with down payment assistance. So when we started working with the city of Tampa, we got an opportunity to actually see people, see where this money goes and why it's important. And so when we come out, and it's more of a checklist to make sure that the homes are safe than anything, but we get a chance to see these excited first-time home buyers. And our inspectors understand how important it is that we deliver a very quality report, to people that are first getting in these homes, which is real exciting. So, we got into this, of course, for the business side of it, but the personal side of it too. We get a chance to really, you guys, help see people through to the end, because when I go out and I sit in these classes, it's an 8-hour class, and they get a lot of information, and they're beginning their adventure, looking to buy a house, but they've got to take this class before they even start. And I swear every time there's got to be at least 40 to 50 people sitting in these rooms. That goes to show you how many people really want to have the American dream and have home ownership. So we're just a huge part of that. And when we go out and we do the inspection, if something fails, it's not a negotiation. It's got to get fixed. So we are helping to make sure that the homes are safe when they get there too. And we're helping them to understand if the HVAC system isn't working properly, before they can move in, it's got to be working properly. So we really are making sure that they get the opportunity to walk into a safe house with knowledge of what's going on and what this house is presenting to them before they even move in. Does that make sense?
There's a big difference between giving someone a hand out and giving someone a hand up. And when we can help low-income families start to achieve financial independence by building equity and home ownership and doing it responsibly, it just brings it brings a little warmth to my heart. And not much does that anymore for me, but that is one of the things I'm really proud of. Would you agree?
I totally agree. So, that's our story. We're sticking to it. We are working now with the city of Largo, Clearwater, like I said, Habitat, Salitas House. That's another organization. They help renters with moving into a property to assist with getting their electricity turned on. So they are the ones that are maybe, I don't know, there may be folks out there that even when you're renting and you move in, getting the power turned on, having to put down those deposits and things like that could be a little bit of a struggle. And so Salitas House, that's what they do. They help with that side of it. So it's not just people owning homes. It's people getting out of homelessness. We've had, with Salitas House, people that are homeless and need this assistance to actually move in, and we've turned inspections around in less than 24 hours, on an emergency situation basis. So, like Vito said, that's huge. Getting people out of a homeless situation into someplace that's safe, my gosh, and we're doing that, you guys. We are helping with that. So that makes me happy, and that's what I was when I was in the banking institutions as well, and I was an underwriter and a wealth management advisor, but just working again with people that sometimes people get down on their luck, and we can help, and that's how we're helping our community.
Now you've also extended your talents with these CE classes and showing specialists with Vito. I mean, not to segue, but even continuing there, you're just adding more and more value to our community. And I think you said that we have one of those coming up pretty soon here at the end of January.
Yeah, our next class is going to be on January the 31st.
Is this one for Hills County or Hillsborough?
This is Hillsborough County. We're going to be at the Baldwin Risk Partners, located on Boy Scout Road here in Tampa. And for those that already are on our mailing list, you're probably already getting a bunch of emails from me. I'm sending out a new one today. And if we're sending this out and letting people hear it, if they want to make sure that they get an invitation, just send us an email, give us a call, give me a call, and we'll get that out to them. So, yeah, it's the Eye of the Inspector class that we're doing on the 31st. And it really does help realtors understand a lot about 4 points and wind mitigations. And Vito does a fantastic job. By the way, our Vito, you guys, he has so many letters behind his name, I can't even name them. But he really makes the class interactive and helps really walk you down the road of what you should be looking for as far as an actual home inspector is concerned. And considering that he's written, some guidelines that the state of Florida has approved, I mean, he's really taken a lot of time and energy to go out and to help you realtors out there, make a logical decision on what's important on a 4-point and a wind mitigation report. Is it going to kill the deal, because of a GFCI when that's not even on a 4-point document? So, again, for those that are listening, if you want to join these classes, by all means do so. We do them every month. We do a showing specialist class where you can come out to a home. It's a great refresher course and also a great class to attend if you're a first-time, let's just say not maybe even a first-time realtor, but in the business less than a year. You'll come out to the home. Vito will be there. We'll walk the property. It's more of an expanded 4-point that you'll get a chance to actually walk the property, ask questions while you're there. We're elevating that class a little bit, so the next class that we'll have in February, we'll actually have some visuals for you to see, what is a double tap? What does that look like? What is a challenger panel? Because sometimes when we get to these locations, everything's good, but we like to show you some things that could slow down a process. So not to get too far in the weeds with that, but that's another class that we do. So like I mentioned, education is hugely important, and, we'll continue to do these all year long.
So I would like to jump back even further to something you mentioned. And I wanted to ask you to kind of describe for me, this two-part question, maybe three, your general strategy for marketing and how that might differ from an area that's already established to developing new territories.
So the strategy around existing territories, and that would be the Pinellas, Pasco, some of Pasco, Sarasota, up into the Brandon area. So our philosophy around that would be to go in really to, sing our praises because we're awesome and preach the good word about how Rock Solid differentiates itself from, other inspection companies. But we're unique in, I have to say, and you probably agree with me, Vito, we're unique in the classes and how we're invested in the realtors' growth as well. So in existing counties, go ahead.
I'm starting to see more and more inspectors try to pick up on that bandwagon. We've been trailblazers in that area for sure. But ultimately, and I ask myself this question a lot, what is it when their inspectors are a dime a dozen? If you're in an office, what is it? Why us then? Why would you choose us when there's a ton of inspectors out there and some of them are cheaper than us and some of them are willing to do soft inspections to help realtors close deals? Why us then? Where's our value?
Our value lies in, first and foremost, how we train our inspectors, how the inspectors understand that every time you stand in front of a client and you're doing an inspection and then you do a walkthrough, it may be your 700th inspection you've done, but it is the first one that your client has done. So we train them. When I say we, I mean our trainer Vito, of course, makes them understand how important it is to deliver a quality product. And that's something that he can speak to, of course. Number two, being able to communicate effectively in a non-threatening way to the prospective buyer, working with the realtor, because we understand the realtors are super busy and there's a lot that goes on with that. Building that relationship with with the realtor to know when we walk away from this, I know Rock Solid got it. I don't have to, if something comes up, I know if something's been missed or if there's a problem, I have confidence in Rock Solid that we'll get the problem fixed. But we exude the fact that they understand we are the partner with them. We're not the adversary. We're on the same team. And I'll be honest with you, that's the reason that a lot of our realtors call us and make us a part of their listing packages. And we get calls to say, can we put you on our list because of word of mouth? And we've been around, I think we're entering our 11th year before you know it. And we've built a great reputation in the market. So as far as existing markets, that's what we do. And of course we do the classes and the first time home buyer classes. So that's what I can speak to on the marketing side. Vito can definitely speak a lot more on the technical piece of that. I'm
committed, Dawn, to showing that I'm not just another pretty face built for radio. I have a face built for radio, and I am also committed to hard-hitting journalism. So I'm going to ask you the tough questions here, and I'm going to say this. What would you say to a real estate agent who thinks it's better to get an inspector who is a soft reporter to close their deals versus someone like us who strives to educate, inform, and really bring value to the buyer while at the same time providing context that everything is fixable for someone who knows what they're doing, and don't kill your deal over stuff that don't matter.
You took some of the words that I was going to use, such as we don't kill deals for things that don't matter. So what I would say to a realtor, if I'm at a class and they say, you know what, I'm using a one-man show or whatever, and he's working with me, making sure that we, I don't want to say, and there aren't realtors out there, I'm sure, that are putting blinders on so they don't see things so they can get the deal to the table. But if that was indeed the case, I would say they're putting themselves in harm's way. What you don't need is someone that is softballing things just to get you the table. You're putting yourselves in harm's way to set yourself up for some sort of lawsuit. You're going to damage your reputation. You could damage the reputation of the firm that you're with. And above all, how can you sleep at night knowing that the person or the family that you're putting into this home could potentially not have all the information they need to make an intelligent and wise decision? So there's so many negatives.
Now, to be fair, the majority of real estate agents only last a year or two, and then they're out. So there is a cash-in type of mentality. And most of them are coming out of training being taught, don't go to the inspection, the less you know, the better. They're literally teaching them to be car salesmen. And in my opinion, that's the wrong approach. We're teaching people how to be responsible and ethical, fiduciary caretakers of their clients' best interests. We're focused, in my opinion, on a more long-term approach. We want partnerships with those agents who really care and who are in this for the long haul. Would you agree with that?
I absolutely would agree with that. And I'll tell you, Vito, I do believe that's the reason that we've had the success that we've had thus far. The prior owner built this place from the ground up, and the values, that we put into place are something that not only do we hold as far as our company is concerned, but the values we personally bring to the table, lends to what you just spoke of. So, yeah, I would agree with that, Vito.
And I think that's a nice segue to ethics. And I'm going to share a little anecdote. And this just happened to me today. So if I come off a little sore about it, it's because I am. But I had a friend of mine, someone who was instrumental in my development in this business. Someone I've known for 40 years had a home inspection through the company. I didn't do it for obvious reasons because it was ethics. Well, he calls me today and asks for a clean 4-point. I said, sure. Send me the videos because it doesn't sound like a major repair. Just send me the videos, send me some minor proof that it's been fixed, and we'll take care of it and clean it up for you. Well, it's not fixed yet. I can't do that because the seller's giving me hassle. Well, then what are you asking me to do? Just give me a clean 4-point. That's insurance fraud. I can't do it. You know what I got? You know what I got for that? I got a mumble and he hung up on me. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We will never, and I mean never, over my dead body, commit insurance fraud or sacrifice our ethics. And I won't do so under threats. The only place friendship comes before principles is in the frigging dictionary. So have your temper tantrum, buddy, and when you get over yourself, give me a call. I promise you, this apology is going to be expensive. Bite me. And I'm done. Thoughts?
I agree. We have kind of curated the perfect balance between our own morals, our own values, and the standard that we uphold. But we also work diligently and very efficiently with our agents, whether it's doing re-inspections and getting them scheduled quickly,
Dude, I will bend over backwards to do it. I'll do anything you want, but we're going to do it right.
And I think that's the best point about it, because we even go as far to take the step of, if you have these things addressed and repaired by licensed contractors, we're not going to charge you the fee if minor issues are repaired. We're going to update the report as a courtesy.
I would have gone out to the property forum for free. I would have done all kinds of things. But we're going to do it right. We're not going to cheat. We're not going to break. We're not going to bend, and we're not going to cheapen ourselves. Again, because at the end of the day, you said it earlier, Dawn, you got to sleep at night. I got to sleep at night. You know what? I was born into this world alone. I'm going to die alone. Hopefully I ain't going through life alone. But I'll be damned if I got to drag shame with me to the other side, provided there's another side. But that just offended me so deeply. So deeply. And not only do our ethics as home inspectors preclude us doing that, but common sense, just common professional care. And on top of that, those of us who are accredited as certified master inspectors, of which I'm proudly one, have to sign an even more stringent code of ethics. So, and it was that prevented me from even doing the inspection for the guy. So, enough is enough, man. And that's just it. If you're listening and you want somebody who's thorough and professional and takes the time to bring value to your clients and protect you in the process while protecting your clients, who can bring inspections, leadership, training, community, value, trust, those aren't just bywords. We are recognized by those in our industry and our clients as being among the best at what we do. We treat every customer like family and inspect every home like it's our own. And the reason we're able to do that is because we're staffed with people like Dawn Perkins here.
Thanks, V.
It's the truth. I'm a firm believer like you. I'm a true believer. I'm Stan Lee from back in the day with the comic books. Hello, true believer.
Now, Dawn, you've been heavily involved with a lot of events recently. I think you attended 2 or 3 in one day, and obviously we've seen some of the fruits of your labor with that, with a lot of new agents following us on social media or calling us and, going back to, starting these agents off with the right expectation from home inspectors. I think that's been super important to being heavily involved in these classes. I don't even know if I really have a question, but I just wanted to bring that up, that, more accolades of everything you do for the company and for those in the industry.
It's second nature now at this point. I think for all of us that work for Rock Solid, we've really created a culture of trust, and trust is huge. Once trust is broken, it's almost impossible to get that back. And we, as a collective, understand that. So we're honest, like Vito said, and the ethics piece of it is hugely important. It's just simply not worth it, and being able to lay your head on the pillow at night, that's what we're about. And if you're listening out there and you do want to work with a company that has a very similar value system that you do, just give us a call, let us know, and understand at the end of the day, and we understand this about each other, we're all just humans. Sometimes things don't go well at a home inspection. But we've done such a great job with our existing agents that it's not something we can't continue to work with. And sometimes, if it comes to it, they got to walk away. They have to walk away. We've got something in place that we will give you a discount on your second inspection. So, but it's hugely important to have that same value system that a company has. So I'm pretty proud of creating that. Coming from the world of banking where it can be very cutthroat and, you know, all they need is how much more can you make the bank. So I've been on the other side of looking at my value system to say this just simply doesn't align, and I got the hell out of there.
You know, saying you're one of the nicest bankers I ever met would be like saying you're the nicest person in jail. I'm not sure I want to throw that back in, but at least you're not in the industry anymore, so there's that.
There's that.
I think I may do have kind of a posing question or even like a topic to bring up. You know, you've been in the industry a good bit now, and, you know, I attribute some of my success to everything you've taught me and taken me under your wing all these years. What are you seeing kind of change and what we're adapting to in these last couple of years and kind of for 2024? What are you seeing in the field and in the market and the industry and the culture of how things are changing and what they are now?
Well, industry trends.
Mm-hmm.
What say you, Dawn?
What say about industry trends? I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the respect of when I go out and I have these kind of conversations with agents. We've got agents out there that are thinking so out of the box. It's frightening. I mean, it's good frightening. Hey, we've got agents out there that are embracing the AI wave because that's not going away. You know, and finding different avenues to connect with newer millennial buyers. Just using, you know, the AI thought process on how can I deliver a quality product in an environment that is going to help me stand out from the rest. That's one, AI. Number two, I've got a realtor out there right now. She is preaching the gospel to her team about building a company within themselves. For example, not just if you are a realtor and you're out looking for buyers or sellers, but think off-market products, think commercial products, think when you're out talking to people, talk with them about building generational wealth, not just buying a home, buying a second home. You know, if you have kids that are younger, educating them on the home buying process and how home ownership can really help to acquire wealth. So we've got realtors out there that are thinking way past just buying and selling a house. How can they elevate their clients into understanding if I buy this house and I can use the equity to buy another house, how can that help my kids later on? Also, we've got realtors. Yeah.
I gave my son Benjamin a solution to that, or rather a problem, equation, if you will, to solve.
Yeah.
I'm charging him rent and I've forbidden him from getting a job.
Well, Vito, I'm not sure if you guys are on the barter system over there, or how's he going to pay this?
Well, the answer is by finding a smarter way to make money than trading time for a measly paycheck.
Wow, that's powerful.
Now, he doesn't know that right now he's in a relatively consequence-free environment because I'm manufacturing pressure on him. But pressure makes diamonds. And he is going to figure it out. And when he does, it will be the sweetest money. It will be sweeter than anything you and I have ever earned. Because and he will have learned it for himself, and he will never forget it for the rest of his life. And he won't have to start, working in banquets or in the food service industry or, making beds in a friggin' housekeeping department or digging a ditch or fixing irrigation or any of those starter jobs working behind the counter at a retail place. He'll have figured out how to start a business for himself and have other people making his money for him.
That's a smart move. That's another whole level of parenting. And that's what these realtors are out there doing, Vito. It's another level of being a realtor.
He could out and crash and burn and be horribly depressed and have his confidence shattered among the rocks of reality too, and in which case I'll give him my security blanket. But I don't think so.
Well, I'm sure you're not going to give him too much too soon. So it's a building process.
He says, "What do I do, Dad?" I said, "You can do anything you want as long as you're cool about it."
That's it. And just relaying that back to what I see realtors out there doing now, that's what's going on. And as far as, I can't intelligently speak to where the market's going and that kind of thing. That's not my genre. So I don't. But what I have seen is, the prices are up, the rates are low. But if we can continue to beat the drum to renters, renters right now are getting raked over the coals. Even if you do have a 6 or a 7% interest rate, you'll probably pay less than what your landlord is going to charge you, going from a maybe $1,500 a month to a $3,000 a month. I've seen it. So just getting out there and again, educating, that piece is important. So, that's kind of what I see realtors doing if I can speak to the way of the market and circle that back to what I see and I hear and what realtors are out there actually doing. As far as the inspection world, that would be, I think that we stand apart from what a lot of people are out there doing. I know that we are constantly looking at new ideas to help elevate real estate agents. Vito, you and I were just talking about, that 360 inspection. How can we make that happen? So if I can speak to that, I can only speak to what I see that we're doing. And, there are some pretty big firms out there, very similar to ours, that are doing things as well. But I just think that I almost want to say the genetic makeup of our team, everyone lends some sort of expertise that helps us continue to elevate our team. So hopefully that helps with the state of the market as far as I can see it.
So before we go today, and you can praise me for my subtlety later, do you have any closing thoughts, final words of wisdom of the ages, or just plain age-old adages to give to our listeners?
Listeners, the one thing, if we're peeling this onion back down to the nub, just remember these are real people that are buying and selling these homes. And it's an emotional process. And don't forget that. If you can, try not to get into the weeds of dollars and I've got to get this and I've got to get that. At night before you go to bed, think about who these people are and how you're helping. And I've talked to so many realtors and I've seen so many posts that it just warms my heart. They feel what these buyers and sellers are going through, and they're standing on the same side of the fence with them. Try not to be the adversary. And I could put another plug in for, Rock Solid. We're part of your team. And we're just humans out here trying to make the best way possible that we can. And we, too, want to stand on the same side of the fence with you and your buyer or seller. So just remember that's who we are, and we live it every day. And if we're not, hold us accountable. Right, Vito? Wouldn't you say, give us a call? I didn't see that Rock Solid way that you spoke of on that podcast. Call us to them out on it, and we'll make it better.
That's right. We're going to treat you like family because nobody wants to sleep with an onion nub. Nobody wants nubs in their bed. Destiny herself has made our bed, and you don't eat crackers in the bed of your destiny. because you get all scratchy.
Good analogy.
Thank you, Dawn. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for your listenership, everybody. Don't forget to send your questions into inspectionconnections@gmail.com, where Aiden and I will pouringly go over the millions and millions of comments and questions and ferret out the ones that are most relevant or most entertaining, and we'll address them next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And goodbye, Aiden.
Goodbye, Vito.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Oh, God.
Got all choked up.
All right. That was good, you guys. Great questions. I mean, my goodness, you kept me on my toes with that one.
So you think, just make sure that when you stop recording, make sure that when you go over to that transcript,